Hey, it's me, Vicky Marie, and good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in this crazy world we're living in. Let's have some good news in the world of crime. We've got a little bit of good news. Hang on. I mean, nothing's ever brilliant news, obviously, because just the fact that we're covering a case means that somebody is deceased. But a little bit of good news in the case of Anna Knezevic is that finally, and it's taken a long time, they have charged her husband with murder. Now, Anna and David. Anna is from Colombia originally. David is from Serbia. They met in America, in Florida, and they set up a business there, and all going very well, very successful business. There's a lot of money involved in this case. Anyway, as time went on, David, he seems to have been very controlling. He had affairs with other women, etc. So in the end, after 12 years of putting up with his crap, Anna decided she was going to leave him and start a new life in Spain. So that's what she did. And they were going through a divorce, which his solicitor says wasn't acrimonious, but later it turns out that probably it was, because Anna obviously wanted 50% of their business, which was a substantial amount of money. The business is worth millions. She wanted 50% as she was due. No children involved in this case. They hadn't had any children. But she wanted 50% of the business that they'd started between them and grown between them. And David, he didn't want her to have 50%. He only wanted her to have a much smaller amount, maybe even 20 or 30%, or even nothing, So he thought he would take matters into his own hands, allegedly. So Anna went off to Spain, came to Spain to live, and she went to live in Madrid. She was having a great time. She was making friends. She was going places, visiting different areas. She had plans to meet her friend on the Friday that she disappeared. She had plans to meet her friend at the train station. They were supposed to be going to Barcelona. Anyway, she disappeared. So she went on the Friday. She was texting her friends saying she was looking for a new place to live, how happy she was. She's had her hair done, normal sort of things that women talk to amongst their friends. And then she just disappeared. She just literally disappeared. No more messages. Well, no, that's not quite true. A couple more messages the next day. Saying that she'd met someone in the street. She just was walking down the street and she got talking to someone and they had this magic connection. And she sent this message to some of her friends in English. She sent the message, and to her other friends and her family, she sent it in Spanish, because Anna is from Colombia. Her native language is Spanish, but she speaks English. So she sent these messages to her friends and family saying she was fine. She was going off to stay with this fantastic guy that she'd met. He's got a holiday house just outside Madrid, and she was going off for a couple of weeks. She might not be able to talk to them because the internet signal wasn't very good. And that's it. But anyway, both of all the people that received these messages said, one, that they didn't feel like the sort of message that Anna would send, that there's no way that Anna would go off with someone she'd just met in the street. Also, they said that both the English and the Spanish was a bit strange, a bit odd. It didn't feel right. These messages didn't feel right. Well, of course, they were completely correct, because it turns out that these messages were sent by David, her husband, the cheesy grin guy, that in fact, it turned out that he had met another Colombian girl online, and he had asked this Colombian girl to translate these texts into Spanish for him so he could send them to Anna's family. I mean, how thick is this guy? Criminals thankfully are normally pretty thick. That's how they get caught, isn't it? But he was thicko of thickos, and also he completely underestimated the reach of the police. And I think he underestimated the Spanish police, especially because he thought, no, he didn't realize that in this day and age, in this small world that we live in, you can commit a crime in Spain. That doesn't mean say they won't know about it in Colombia. So he's met this girl in Colombia on a dating app. He's asked her to translate these messages. And it was because her mother, when this girl told her mother that she'd met this guy on the internet, blah, de, blah, de, blah, her mum, as mums do, said, oh, well, who is he then? And like, oh, because he'd used his real name as well. So that's how thick he is. He'd used his real name to meet this girl. He wasn't even clever enough to catfish, It was like, he'd used his real name, his real profile to, not realizing that these things can get connected up. But, police can join the dots. Anyway, her mother got suspicious and Googled his name, the real name. And of course, it came up that this David Knezevic, his wife, was missing. And that's how he got caught, really. I mean, there were other things as well, but this is one of the main bits of evidence they've got against him. So, of course, they phoned the police, and then the arrest of David Knezevic was a fabulous result to a truly international collaboration of police. The police in Madrid, the Spanish police, the FBI, the American police, the Colombian police, and also the Serbian police. And David did not realize this. He was on all their radars by now. They reached out to each other. How did he ever think he would get away with it? So that was one bit of evidence they had, that he had asked this Colombian girlfriend of his, online girlfriend, to translate these messages. She talked about it to her mum. Her mum had got suspicious, Googled his name, saw his wife was missing, and phoned the police. Then in the meantime, the other evidence against David is he was seen. He said he'd not been to Spain. He had no reason to go to Spain. He'd been in Serbia all this time. He's got a flat in Serbia. And it turns out he actually rented a car in Serbia. Let's put a picture of Anna up, get his face off there. He rented a car in Serbia. He drove to Spain. The reason we know he drove to Spain is, the mileage on the car. And when he took the car back to the car rental people, he'd had the windows tinted. He'd also changed the number plate, So you don't do that with a rental car. Has anyone here ever rented a car and then thought, oh, I think I'll have the windows tinted while I'm renting it, or I think I'll change the number plate? How did he think that wasn't going to be suspicious? Anyway, we know he went to Spain because he was on CCTV in a hardware store near Anna's house buying black spray paint and duct tape, and he had no mask on, no nothing. He could be seen as clear as day. So everybody knows that he was in Madrid at the time. He then went to Anna's block of flats, somehow got in through the door with a motorcycle helmet on, and then he sprayed the CCTV cameras. But when he sprayed the CCTV cameras black, he lifted up his helmet visor. He lifted it up and you can see his face as clear as day. So he's reaching up to the CCTV and you can see him. I mean, it's crazy. So then he sprayed with black paint the CCTV in the lobby of the apartment block where Anna was living. He obviously then somehow very sadly got into her flat. Either he broke in or I don't know, did he knock on the door? Who knows how he got in? And we don't know how he killed Anna or what he did. We don't know yet. Anyway, maybe the police know, but they haven't released it yet. And then the other daft thing he did, so when he sprayed the black CCTV, sprayed it black, he didn't do it properly, so you could still see. And he was seen coming out of the lift or coming out of the apartment carrying a suitcase. Now, because when I went there, I went to this place and I remember, saying, how did he get her out of this apartment? Anyway, that's how he got her out. He put her in a suitcase, probably one of her own suitcases. And because she was very tiny, Anna, she was exceptionally tiny. He brought her out of the apartment in a suitcase, allegedly, took her off. Wherever he took her. The thing is, we don't know where she is. Let's see if I can find the pictures of him spraying that bloody, we don't know where. He then obviously went back to Serbia, but the only problem that there's been in this case is she hasn't been found yet. Bless her. So Anna's body has not been found. The police and the FBI have been looking for her for ages now. There's still a chance we might see her. They might find her. But, anyway, so let's see these photos. So the problem is, the police found out he was coming back to Florida somehow, I don't know how, and they arrested him. And they charged him with kidnapping. So for all this time, he's been charged with kidnapping. Look, this is him. This is him. It's chilling, that, isn't it? This is so chilling. This is him going in the... in her apartment block in his motorcycle helmet. But look, I don't know how well you can see that. This is him. It's obviously him. He's lifted up the crash helmet. He's reaching up and spraying the CCTV, but you can see his eyes as clear as anything. It's perfectly obvious it is him. And then also, he was seen in the hardware store without a helmet on or a mask or anything, buying the black spray paint. So, there's a tight case against him. But, of course, he's still insisting, no, wasn't him. Anna will be alive somewhere. She went off with this man. She went off with this man and she could walk back in at any minute. So very strange. But very clear case. I don't know if you can see these very well. There you go. You can see this one better. So, yeah, this was him spraying the... How could he not know there were... Well, he obviously knew there were cameras, but did he not think? I mean, that is just clearly him. Anyway, I'm glad he's stupid. It's a good job he's stupid because, that's why he's got caught. That's why he's been arrested. So authorities say David Knezevic, I call him. Knezevic is the man pictured here purchasing duct tape and spray paint. Obviously, clearly, it is him in a store in Madrid, Spain. No, his eyes and look, you can see it's him. What a knob. David Knezevic is a total knob. Anyway, he was arrested at the airport when he tried to return to Florida, and he was charged with kidnapping. And the good news is he is now finally, even though Anna's body has not been found, he has been charged with murder. So let's have a look. Let's just have a look at a news item about it. Videos. Yeah, let's have a look at what oh, hang on. Come on, where's the murder charge? Why is there not can't find a video about it? Okay, hang on, sorry, bear with. Sorry, I'm getting there. Okay. Where's the volume?
Knezevic was arrested back in May. And at first, meanwhile, a South Florida man whose estranged wife was last seen 9 months ago is now facing murder charge in this case. David Knezevic was arrested back in May and at first only charged with her kidnapping.
NBC6's Marissa Bagg is in downtown Miami with what led to the new charge. Marissa?
Well, Jackie, this new federal murder charge could carry with it the possibility of the death penalty if, in fact, David Knezevic was found guilty in his wife's murder. But his attorneys are adamant he is innocent.
Yeah, whatever.
9 months after Ana Maria Knezevic disappeared in Spain, federal agents indicted her husband for murder in Miami. 36-year-old David Knezevic is accused of kidnapping and now killing his wife of 13 years. Ana Maria's family had this to say about the new federal charge.
This brings us no joy. It's a step in the right direction for justice for my sister.
Ana Maria was last seen in Madrid in February. Her whereabouts remain a mystery. According to court documents, FBI investigators say her husband David resembles a man who spray-painted security cameras outside of her apartment in Madrid the day she disappeared. The FBI arrested David when he flew back to Miami in May after spending a few months in his home country, Serbia. In federal court today, his defense attorneys questioned the evidence in the murder indictment filed against him.
There's no evidence then, and there's no evidence now that...
God, I hate this woman. I hate her. This Jane Weintraub. She was the one that said last time that he was laughing and joking in court. And when someone said, do you think it's suitable that your client was laughing and joking? She said, oh, well, he's a funny guy. He's a funny guy. Oh, my God, what an awful woman. Awful woman.
David kidnapped her, murdered her.
Defense attorney Jane Weintraub went on to speculate as to how Ana Maria went missing, which clearly upsets her family.
To please stop disparaging my sister's name. Have some respect for the family. We're going through enough. My mom is going through enough because all of what this guy did.
Why do people pick on the families? Honest to God, I really don't understand. You know, it's like with the Richard Allen thing and the Delphi murders, you know, people accusing Libby's own sister of stuff. You know, the person who's guilty here, she says there's no evidence. He's fucking spraying out the CCTV. He was buying black spray paint. He came out of her apartment with carrying a suitcase. What does she mean there's no evidence? Oh my God, what's wrong with people? You know, yes, everyone is innocent till proven guilty, but don't be a fucking idiot and say there's no evidence. Of course there's evidence. Oh my God, it just gets me so angry. Sorry about swearing.
And the FBI has been working with police in Madrid as well as international law enforcement on this case ever since Ana Maria went missing back in February. The next federal hearing in this case is set for next Friday. Reporting live in downtown Miami, Marissa Beck, NBC6 News.
Right, well, God, there's that many hearings at the moment of various cases that we're looking at. I'm like, I'll try and, so next Friday, she said, so I presume she doesn't mean today, she means next Friday. You know, what the hell? What is wrong with people? Oh, dear God. Look, I know everyone's entitled to a defense, but please don't, be sensible. He's actually been seen. They've got video of him spraying the thing. This is not circumstantial evidence. This is like proper evidence. I bet the police, honest to God, I don't, not only I couldn't be a defense lawyer, I don't think I could be the police because, the police have got to stay stum, haven't they, about everything. And you just want to go and get, punch that woman in the face, wouldn't you, and say, hey, are you mad? God, when I tell you, I know she hasn't murdered anyone, but she's taking money for defending that twonk. I don't know, to me that just seems like you don't have to say ridiculous things like that. All you have to say is, my client's innocent till proven guilty. We're going to provide the strongest case we can, blah, 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 blah. You don't have to talk a load of shite, do you? Make yourself look a fool. Anyway, never mind. Calm down. Oh, God, I'm getting so angry. Anyway, and I really feel that Anna's another of those cases. I feel very, I've spoken to her friend, Sana. I've been there and sort of looked at where it happened and everything. You get this feel really invested with these cases. And although I don't know Anna, I feel like I knew her. And it just makes me so angry how that woman could turn around and say there's no evidence when there clearly is. And she's a woman. Do you know what I mean? You can't even defend another woman. God. Okay, best get off this subject before I go totally apeshit, because I feel like I could go totally apeshit over this, really. I can feel it happening. I'm trying to be